r/askreddit. What's the best joke you know?
Not mine. I went to a beekeeper to get 12 bees. He counted and gave me 13. Sir, you gave me an extra. That's a freebie.
This one is so cute.
What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? One is very heavy and the other is a little lighter.
What's the difference between a hippo and a zipper? I haven't gotten my D stuck in a zipper.
Yet.
What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? Makes gagging sound. I told this to my family when I was like 11, went over, well.
The only thing so far that's made me laugh out loud is the mental image of someone telling their family that joke at the age of 11.
I told my mom I wanted a piece of poontang pie because I heard someone say it while watching the WAF. Now, that was a weird time.
A proctologist walks into a bank. He needs to sign a document. He tries to sign, but he pulls a thermometer out of his shirt pocket. Oh, shit! Some asshole has my pen!
People are shocked when they find out what a terrible electrician I am.
Tudok, you gotta help me. I can't stop singing, "What's New, Pussycat?" That sounds like Tom Jones syndrome. Is it common? It's not unusual.
What did the sign on the door of the brothel say?
A man goes to a funeral. He asks the widow if he could say a word. He goes to the front and says a plot and says a plethora and sits back down. The widow leans over and whispers then, "Thanks, that means a lot." Thank you, everyone. I gladly will add on your lines when I retell this joke.
As a Finn, I have a special fondness for Russian/Soviet political jokes. You, a new arrival to Gulag, is asked, "Oh, what are you given 10 years for?" "What? Wow, are you given 10 years for?" Gonna lie to us here, comrade. Everybody knows, for nothing is 3 years. Your judge walks out of his chambers laughing his head off. A colleague approaches him and asks why he is laughing. "I just heard the funniest joke in the world." "Ah, well, go ahead, tell me," says the other judge. "I can't, I just gave someone 10 years for it."
Did you hear about the man with 5 penises? His pants fit like a glove.
A penis joke I haven't heard before. But you just made my day. I could tell you another one that'll make your whole week.
How do you spot a blind man in a nudist camp? It's not hard.
Clue. How do you spot the most popular guy in a nudist camp? A. He'll be carrying a dozen donuts and 2 cups of coffee. QO. How do you spot the most popular GR? Well, she'll be the one who can get the last donut.
Waterboarding in Guantanamo Bay sounds like a great time, if you don't know what either of those things are.
Water sports in Guantanamo Bay would be a whole other story.
2 guys are walking down the street when they see a dog licking his balls. One guy says, "I wish I could do that." The other replies, "Well, maybe just try petting him first."
3 men went to hell and they stood before the devil. The devil asked the first man, What did you do for a living?" The man answered, "I was a lumberjack." The man answered, "I was a lumberjack." The devil said, "Then we will chop your penis off." He turned to the second man, asking the same question he asked the first. "I was a fireman," said the second man. Said the second man, "We will burn your penis off." He turned to the third man, asking the same question he asked the other 2. The third man thought about it and finally answered the devil, "Lollipop salesman."
Pours molten sugar over his penis. Shoves a stick in it. A boss had 2 employees, Alice and Jack. He only needed 1. But they were hired at the same time and were both equally good at their job. He couldn't decide which to get rid of. He was sitting at a bar thinking about the situation. Alice walks in and sits beside him and asks, "You seem down, what's wrong?" "What's wrong there?" the boss said. "The boss said you need to either lay you or Jack off." Alice says, well, please, Jack. Off, I'm tired."
Well, I'm fired.
Jack was inevitably hired.
I mixed up the words Jacuzzi and Yakuza, and now I'm in hot water with the Japanese mafia.
How is 69 and being in the mafia alike? One slip of the tongue and you are in deep crap.
Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells? Because she's too big for bee shells. Edit. Had no idea this was gonna blow up. Thanks all of you for all the awards.
The divorce court judge says to Mickey, now, let me get this straight, Mr. Mouse. You want a divorce from your wife, Minnie, because she's crazy. And Mickey says, no, I never said she was crazy. I said she was effing goofy.
If you could do a good Mickey impression, it really sells this one.
What's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants? One is a crusty bus station and the other is a busty crustacean.
What's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? One is a watch snatcher and the other is a snatch watcher.
Speaking of pickpockets, did you hear about the midget who had his pockets picked? How could anyone stoop so low?
I went to the zoo and saw a baguette in a cage. I asked the zookeeper about it, and he told me it was bred in captivity.
A man sat down at a bar and told the bartender, I bet you $300 that I can piss into the cup all the way over there on the other side of the bar and not miss a single drop. The bartender said, then there is no way you can do that. Sure, I'll bet you $300. The man then begins to undo his pants and begins pissing. He starts pissing all over the bar, spraying on the bottles and the bartender, not making a single drop in the cup. The bartender starts smiling and laughing and says, that's it, you owe me $300. The man then gets up and walks over to the pool table and starts laughing and shaking hands with the men standing there. He walks back to bar, sits down and starts laughing at the bartender and hands him the money. The bartender asks, you just lost the bet, the man said.
I've heard this one, but with a lawyer and ours inspector.
Doctor, I swallowed a pen. Well, sit down and write your name.
Seems like the person has appendicitis.
I had a song stuck in my head the other day and kept singing it out loud. My wife finally broke down and screamed, will you please stop singing Wonderwall? I said maybe.
I hear you, dude. I was humming the chorus to I'm a Believer around the house the other day when my wife suddenly screamed at me to knock it off. This was really out character for her, so I just assumed she was joking. Then I saw her face. Edit.
I bought the worst Thesaurus the other day. Not only was it terrible, it was also terrible. Edit. Well, shucks. Thanks for all the awards and for my most upvoted comment. You're all great, and also you're great.
I bought a dictionary. It's so bad I have no words to describe it. Edit. Wow, wasn't expecting this to blow up.
I walked into the pharmacy and asked for some deodorant. The ball kind. Just for under the arms is fine.
A penguin is on a long-deserved vacation from the zoo. He decides to take a road trip out west when his car breaks down. Luckily, it's right in front of a mechanic in town. He drops the car off and tells the mechanic he's going to get some lunch. It's a really hot day, so after eating he stops by the ice cream shop for a little treat. Walking back to his car, the mechanic tells the penguin "Er there, the brewer's seal." The penguin laughs. "Oh, now," he said as he wiped his mouth. "Oh, no," he said as he wiped his mouth. Ice-cast ice cream.
How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? None?
One day, 3 people were stuck on an island with cannibals. The cannibals said, if you do what we say, we won't kill you. So the 3 people followed the orders, the cannibals. So the cannibals said, go into the forest and pick 10 fruits of the first fruit you see. So the first person came back out of the forest with 10 apples. The cannibals said, put the apples up your butt without making a facial expression. The person then made a facial expression after the second apple, so the cannibals killed him. The second person came back out of the forest with 10 cherries. The cannibals said, put the cherries up your butt without making a facial expression. The person then started laughing on the 10th cherry, so they killed him. In heaven, the person with apples asked the person with cherries, why did you start laughing? The person replied, I saw the third person come out with pineapples.
This guy sees a sign. Talking dog! $5. He walks up and asks the man, does this dog really talk? Only talk. Owner, Yefia. Turbo shit, it's true. I can talk. Marg. It's true if I hat on the circus as a sidechair. Until the sea. I can talk. They recruited me as a spy. No one suspects the dog in the room is listening to state secrets. After 2 tours, I retired here in the country to live out my days. Man. That is the most astounding thing I have ever heard. So, why the hell are you only selling him for $5? Owner, because that dog is a liar. He didn't do any of that shit.
What do you call a dog with steel balls and no hind legs? Sparky.
Why did the blind man fall into the well? He couldn't see that well.
A Chevy Silverado, a Ford Phone 150, a Ram 1500, a Gima Sierra, and a Toyota Tundra are driving in convoy. Best pickup line ever.
What's the difference between a lentil and chickpea? I would never pay $200 to have a lentil in my mouth.
Dad, the trashman's here. Tell him we don't need any.
Real dad joke coming up. What's a pirate's favorite letter? Most proceed to say aura. You'd think it's the ER, but its first love is the ERCEI. Edit, thank you for the silver stranger. Edit 3, first gold. Thank you, third kind stranger. Edit 4, a Rocket Life Award. Not sure what that is, but thank you. Edit 5, woke up to a load more awards. Thank you all.